Rolling with the homies.
First, thank you to the dinner crew.
Woo, dinner crew.
Getting our hearts in the right place with
you.
the Filipino food. Okay, let's start this. What we have here is called Transfer Talks. So last year we launched a video series called Transfer Talks, specifically interviewing fourth-year transfers about their experience, their advice, things like that. What I want to do now is kind of continue the discussion with a larger group, both for our own kind of benefit, sharing what we have learned, what we have experienced, acknowledging that each one is different, but also hopefully kind of creating a space and creating some form of documentation that can be used for the future for folks who are maybe not able to be on campus all the time or access all the resources all the time, but have the knowledge that we have still shared and passed on. So, we have Transfer Talks.
Yes,
We have food, and we're gonna chat it up. This is gonna be very informal, no like, wait your turn type thing, but you know, respect people when they are talking, but also share what you got. We're just gonna go through some like little guiding questions. But first, look at this beautiful, oh, where is that? I wonder where that is.
Looks
I feel like I've seen that
Looks
before.
familiar. Okay, so just to start it all off, what was a struggle during your first semester transferring into Cal? Who wants to share a little?
What was the question?
Right there. What was a struggle
Thank you.
during your first semester transferring into Cal?
I'll start that one. So, the biggest thing was making friends and making acquaintances with everyone. And our preconceived notion is that we come here by ourselves, and as we know, it's cutthroat and everything. So I think the ability and the ability to make friends and to make these connections with other people, I think that's definitely a big struggle, but when achieved, it's very humbling to have, and very important, I think, to the success of our careers at Berkeley. So yeah.
I feel it. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, like I know you said people were reached out to while they were still at CC, like they got an email or whatever. Like I didn't receive any of that. It happens, and so I really had to like step out of my comfort zone. I didn't know anybody, but you know, it's either. It's the only way to make friends. Step out of your comfort zone, even if you're gonna do it by yourself. I'm happy that I did it. I get to enjoy experiences like this. But I say, yeah, the struggle for me was meeting friends and stuff like that.
Speaking of comfort zones, I'm still trying to, expand my own horizons and my own comfort zone, given the fact that I was very sheltered and my parents really were like the Asian helicopter parents, basically. And so it's sort of tampered with my own self-esteem growing up because I couldn't do the things that like other kids, were allowed to do. So I would always like compare, like the way that my friends were raised versus how I was being raised, and I'm still like, I still always have this thing in the back of my mind, they always meant well. It comes from a good place in their heart. They just want to take care of me. But at the same time, like, it sort of hindered my own emotional growth and maturity because they still treated me like a kid even throughout community college, and then all of a sudden I was thrust into like, adult independence, living here at Cal. So that was a big, it was something that I had to prepare myself for, given the fact that they didn't prepare me for that transition because they still wanted to treat me like a kid, and they still do, you know, even right now. So I'm still trying to have them transition.
I feel it.
Are you an only child?
No, I have an older brother, but he's 10 years older than me.
Yeah. And you're a girl.
You're the only girl.
Yes, and my brother also treats me like I'm his
Daughter?
daughter, given the age gap.
I think to add to the in terms of like the socials specifically, I think it was hard because when you go into spaces, even within the pill community, all the friendships have already been established. Like these are folks who have gone through even senior weekend where they met each other before their freshman year, and they're already making friends or in certain like the programs from freshman, sophomore, and then even in between that they've already done staff positions, things like that. So once they're in their junior year where we're coming in, all those social kind of circles have been established and are very tight, and they've already established it among themselves. Like sometimes they might not even be chilling with certain people within these spaces, but more so like a new person coming onto Cal. I think that's what made it an initial challenge for me. Like, and also like kind of the structure of how everybody is in professional development mode. When you go to different clubs, they're all already intern, be an intern like that. And it's almost as if all our previous experience outside of Cal is not up to par with the quote-unquote experience of folks who have done work here on campus during their first or second year. So I think that was an initial challenge.
Yeah, because a lot of transfer students who are older, they already have a lot of job experience. Like me, I have a lot of job experience. And then they're like, oh, well, join our club, and then I hear that they're so selective, and I'm like, I don't want to join you. I don't want to even like try to join your club, you know. So it's like having your worth be questioned by people, you know, who don't even know you is kind of like intimidating.
So like with the whole like, you know, struggle of like making friends at Cal, I just want to like give a shout out to my my housemates, room 512, unit 2. Essentially, they were my first friends at Cal. We really got close. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have made my first friends. AKA them, but no, yeah, like we're all close, and like we all try to hang out with each other. But then like I told myself like I have to branch out. Yeah. Like I have to you know, at least try to put myself out there. And I told myself like I wouldn't be just confined to just like the Filipino community. Like I want to venture, you know, myself even more out there. Just try to make the most out of my transfer experience. And so I did join, you know, the PO community. I joined PAS. I did the whole PAA. I did the whole KAA. Shout out Kuya Chris for picking me up. So like, you know, I went out of my comfort zone, and I'm currently pledging a public service brat, which is I made a lot of like genuine friendships there, and you know, we're all struggling together. It's pipe season, but it's okay. It's supposed to be like that. But I learned to just like don't be afraid to just venture out of your own comfort zone, and you'll definitely meet so many people that have the same interests as you and like different interests as you, and then like you have like so much things to talk about with those types of like, you know, interests and all that. But
I think that's a good transition to the second question. Oh, no, that's not a second question. What has been helpful in your transition? We can go to the last one later. But if people still have things that was a struggle, you can still continue to share that. But also, in general, what has been helpful in your transition here at Cal?
For me, a struggle for me was the academics. I'm sure, I'm not trying to boast, I'm sure we've all felt this being transfers at Cal, but in my community college, I felt like a big fish in a little pond. And as soon as I came here, I'm still struggling with it. I'm trying to realize like the sheer amount of talent and intellect of everyone around me, and it's really frightening. And instead of a big fish in a little pond, now I feel like a little fish in like an ocean. And something that's been helpful in my transition was having a lot of one-on-one talks with professors and realizing how much they love it when students come up to them to talk about them and to like, I guess, essentially use their intellect to learn more about the field they're like researching on. And so yeah.
Talk to your GSIs too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking GSIs also helped me a lot.
Because you know they're young. They're one of the bros,
Oh yeah.
One of the bros.
but like smarter.
They weren't undergrad like us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
At one point.
But yeah, adding to that, like, so I'm a poli-sci major, and there's just a lot of reading, and so what I did was just like, yeah, like, I ventured out of my comfort zone. I talked to people in my class, and I was like, hey, there's like a lot of reading. There's like 100, 200 plus pages a week. Why don't we all divide the reading and make a study guide off of the reading? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And then literally, I kid you not, like in our poli-sci class, there's like 8 people dividing their readings, and now I went from reading 100 pages to 200 pages a week to probably like 20, 30.
Oh wow.
Yeah, even less. Some weeks less. Like I have to read like maybe like this week. Oh thank God! Like I'm reading like 10 like just 10 pages this week. Cause like yeah, one I took initiative and I was just like, hey, this is so much reading. Why can't we just all divvy up the reading? And they're like, yeah. And then like second like. And I learned this from like my education class. Like, you try to read everything, you just can't. Like, like you try to read every single word, it's impossible. With all your other classes too, like, it's just not possible. So, and you're maximizing your resources. Students are resources. So.
Do your peers show up though? Like.
Oh yeah, no yeah. Like we made like community agreement. If you don't do your readings, you're kicked out. No, but like everyone did all the readings, and everyone's like up to date, and everyone's also supportive and all that. Yeah.
That's dope. That's a good advice. Yeah, that's smart.
Adding to the advice as well, I found GBO actually very helpful. So for those of you that are going to transfer here, give 100% to GBO, because the people you meet there, it's gonna resonate throughout your whole Berkeley career. I've been friends with a lot of my GBO members since GBO. Like we've been friends for a long time, and yeah, I feel like you can just depend on each other now, and just seeing them kind of brings you joy in a way, because they're like the day ones of Berkeley.
Day ones.
So yeah, definitely give it your all during.
Can I shout out a music rack?
Huh?
Can I shout out a music rack because he just said a phrase? Day One by Han, Honne.
Oh, yeah, that's a good song.
Just saying.
What? Cool. Got another question here, and I'm encouraging those who haven't spoken up yet. Maybe if you do have thoughts to share, please speak up. Have you experienced the imposter syndrome, and how have you dealt with it?
I was pretty scared about experiencing that because it's something they talked a lot about in transfer weekend. I'm really, really thankful of my roommates, Kevin, Jerome, and Ben. They've done such a great job at making me feel like a part of the community, and this weekend alone, like even got it closer. So that's how I dealt with it, and I've been fortunate enough to like not actually experience it because of the community here.
To add in, I've definitely experienced imposter syndrome, and some days like it comes back too. I always felt like as a transfer student, I felt like my admission here wasn't as like valid as like a freshman admit. And then like for me, I've always felt a little bit insecure of the fact that I didn't have the 3 years here that a lot of my other peers did. So then I always felt like I got in like the easy way when really by no means like transferring here is not actually quite that easy. Like there was a lot of like hoops in the system that you have to jump through. There's a lot of like prerequisites that you have to look after and stuff like that. And like I think for me, like people can always tell me like that I belong at Cal, but really like it came down to whatever, if I believed it or not. And I think at the end of the day, like as soon as I started to believe that I have my own journey here and that no one can take that away from me, that's when I started to realize that I don't need to compare myself to other people. And honestly, that's been very like liberating. Like I kind of like stopped putting weight on like what other people kind of like think of me in that regard, if they even do. But like it's always been there in the back of my head, but it's gotten better.
I'll go. So for me, I am a formerly incarcerated student. So of course, imposter syndrome hit me quite hard because you go from this point that is so low in your life to something that's like something that you just like don't even dream of achieving, you know? So of course I was like, is this real? Like, is this a mistake? Like, was I given this admission by mistake? And up till the point that I sat on my class in the very first day, I felt like they were gonna email me and tell me like, hey, it's a mistake. And I think that's normal for a lot of people, you know? And I think that I dealt with it through meeting a group called Underground Scholars Initiative. And you realize there's actually a really big community of formerly incarcerated students or system impacted students at Berkeley. And they're just such like a great community, like PASS, like they're like PASS, and they really help you kind of, you know, get accustomed to life at Berkeley, and they're so willing to go out of their way to help you out with anything. They recommend me classes and professors to take. And they always send out emails of scholarships that are coming out like every day or like every week. They're always like on top of everything. And yeah, I think just knowing that there's a community of people that are like you on campus, like for us, like, you know, there's this Filipino community who come from overseas or whatever. Just knowing that there are people like you on campus helps a lot with imposter syndrome. So.
Yeah, feel that. To y'all, what makes a transfer experience uniquely different compared to the traditional path? Why are y'all so dope?
Because we save lots of money. Save tens of thousands of dollars.
For me, oh sorry, go ahead. Are you done?
Yeah, no, it's an economical thing.
I agree.
Right, and that's good for us, good for us all.
To quote someone, I'm sorry, I don't remember who said it this weekend, but credits to whoever said this. It hit me pretty hard. Was for us going to community college, it was like a second chance for us. I don't remember who said that.
Who said that? Yeah,
someone. I think it was. It was him. So I'm quoting him, and I think that is what makes this extremely unique, because the freshmen that come here, like they've had their goal down since like maybe like their sophomore freshman year of high school. Like they knew what they were going to do. They knew exactly what major they were going into. But a lot of us experienced a lot of different things before even deciding to college. And I think some of us didn't even think of going to college.
Right.
And it was just a sudden turn of events just somehow landed us here.
And it's also like what I said earlier, like it's just like a sense of like redemption, like, you know, like we're trying to become, you know, the best possible self that we can be, and that, like, you know, yeah, you know, we were that kind of person wherever we were last time, but this time, like, it's for real. Like, you know, we're looking ahead into the future. We're doing great, yet even though, you know, we're struggling, we're doing great. We're gonna get that degree. We're gonna get that bread that we not buy. We're gonna get that, and, you know, we're gonna be, you know, that's why.
Oh yeah.
Like things like transfer recruitment and retention are so important. Like, and this, like, you know, this retreat is so important because we bring so much to the table. Like, I don't want to say, like, you know, we're more, I guess, like, mature. I think we are, but
I think
true.
we are. Come of age. No, it's just we've been through like stuff. We've seen things, and like all of I'm guessing most of us like work like part-time, full-time jobs while going to community college. We were taking care of like our family, and then we were dealing with like personal stuff, and like people don't realize that like we're very like well-rounded, and like we've learned to adapt and thrive through like so many different situations socially and everything. And so like we mean a lot to the Cal community, and we have to keep on representing, and we got to get that retention rate up, and whatever means possible we have to do it.
And on top of that, since we only have 4 semesters here compared to the 8 semesters that freshmen have, I feel like a lot of transfers are going to make the most out of it and do the most with their time.
Also, to add on as well, I think a good analogy is the iceberg analogy, where you only see the tip, but everything else is buried underneath, and that the part that's submerged is what's actually bringing us up, and it's what's making us who we are right now. So yeah, I think that's a good that's a good idea.
That's
deep, literally.
That's deep.
Iceberg deep.
90% deep.
It's 90% deep, 10%.
I love that.
Question. This actually comes from a community member. How can traditional 4-year students support transfers and be aware of the transfer experience?
Good question.
I feel like what we're doing right now, just giving as much tips and as much experience and knowledge that we went through in terms of being transfers, and just relaying it to the incoming transfers, I think is very important. So yeah.
But how can those who have been here 4 years? That's what the question is.
Oh.
Like, how can the traditional 4-year students support transfers, right? How can there be, because we're sharing 2 transfers, but how can 4-year students support transfers in this experience?
Well, I'm interning under Lorraine as the transfer recruitment section, and along with Jerome. And shout out to Pamela, because she is a traditional 4-year, and yeah, she wanted to sign up, like actively sign up and help with like the transfer sector of PASS, because she says that all of her her friends and companions that she made throughout the years have somehow mostly been transfers, and she just wants to give back, because she knows from them that we sort of have struggled, So.
I would also say a way traditional 4-year students can support us transfers would be like, so like if you have an organization, say that actually put in your descriptions that you encourage transfers to apply or to be a part of your space, because like usually like when you see organizations, you assume it's going to be like freshman admin, it's going to be like flocking there, and that's honestly one of the things that like keeps me from like joining certain things, because I know it's going to be like I'm probably not going to meet people that are like transfers like me or something like that. Like it's usually rare. But I think having that distinction specifically helps me a lot. It's like they actually want people like me. That helps.
That's a good tangible
that's
piece of advice.
Remember when I was like walking around like Upper Sproul, and you go up to clubs, the first thing they ask like, "Oh, are you a freshman?" I was like, "Oh no, man, I'm a junior." And I was kind of scared to say, "Oh, I just transferred, so I'm a junior."
Yeah.
And then so I feel that.
For sure. I feel
Yeah, like sort of what you were saying, like whenever people ask me what year I am, I remember at the beginning I would never say I was a 3rd-year transfer. I would just say I was a 3rd year.
Yeah.
So, and the reason for that is because I've had one experience with a freshman at the beginning of the semester. It was at the undergraduate for math panel, and we had done this competition for like a sweater, and I had won, and then the freshman, I knew he was freshman because I mean, he looked like he looked like he just came out of his mom's womb. And yeah, he was a baby, and he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, what do you?" Okay, I don't remember what he asked me, but in the end he said, "Oh, you took the easy route," and it was like sort of similar to what you said, and that hit me. I was like, "What? What do you mean I took the easy route?" So
He doesn't know half of it.
yeah, he doesn't know half of it, and I feel it felt like he was being very, what's the word? Exclusive.
I'll throw him in community college.
Yeah, but I mean, I told him like, oh well, this transfer just beat you. But I mean, like,
It's on the sweater.
Oh, it feels nice.
I wish I didn't have to do that. I wish that I could like, you know, accept him for like his journey, and I wish he can accept me for like what I've had to go through. So I feel like four-year students or students taking the traditional path should, you know, like accept us for like what we've had to do to get here. And to not assume that we're taking the easy route because we went to community college.
I feel like the encouragement of just like the sharing of like narratives really helps to like traditional four-year students. Like what we're doing right now, the transfer talks, what you're trying to do, you know, for the transfer retention. It's just to tell your story and to let it out there. Like, yeah, like this was it was not easy. Like by any means, like emotionally, physically, mentally, like it was not easy. This journey to Cal was something else, and just telling others like what you've gone through, and they're gonna be like, wow, like that was not easy, and like yeah, it wasn't. And so like just, you know, if ever someone asked, or just be like, oh yeah, here's my story, and you know, I came from here and I did this and that, and I'm here just like you. I'm not better than you, you're not better than me. We're trying to you know what's funny? Like we don't all be like we're getting that degree. Like that person does not have a degree yet, and you don't too. So why are they talking? Like we're just trying to get that degree. We're trying to do good things, and it's just like we're all on the same level. Like I don't care if you already have an internship down or you're doing research already. Like we're the same person.
I'm also trying to get that on the salad.
That's right. Like, at the end of the day, we're just trying to get a piece of paper and that bread.
And the bread right up by the salad.
And that bread.
That Goldilocks. That ensaymada.
I think those 4 years should support by dating my boy right here, right?
Oh my goodness.
I actually said that as half joke. I was like, I know I've done my work as retention for transfers. Once the transfers be dating the 4 years. Okay. Because that breaks the code, the social lines.
It's not happening.
That doesn't happen around here.
What are you talking about?
To begin with.
So,
That's funny.
specifically, what do you want to see in the Pill transfer community at Cal? This is kind of more forward visioning. Something hopefully that we can reflect on in the future based on a goal setting right now of what we can do so that in the future we can see if we've changed the community in a way that we've kind of put in the work based on what we want to see.
So earlier this year we had transfer weekend with Bridges, and that was the first time I met you, the first time I met like a lot of people in this group, and him and I were already very excited because we knew we were coming here, but that weekend we saw firsthand the work that PASS does for transfers, and we had like, I don't know, like a group of like 10 people who were on the fence, either UCLA, USC, whatever. But by the end of it, like the majority of the group was like, hey, I want to come here and I feel like I have a community here. And I really, really am so excited to start my journey at Cal. And we know that like a majority of that was because of PASS. And PASS was able to convince these people like they were going to be very happy here. And I hope that we can keep doing that and expand and do more. Because that was the reason why I wanted to join PASS, because I saw firsthand the work that they did with this group of people that were coming in. So I hope we can continue that.
This is just a cute idea. I think we should do fundraisers. Yeah.
Fundraisers.
Yeah. Like sell lumpia and lower sprout.
Okay.
Halo halo.
Oh.
Hello.
Some outreach.
We got something in the works. Lock out your Fridays. Your Fridays 11 to 1 if you are free. In the next few weeks. Yeah.
We can't commit unless we know what it is.
Secret.
Jolly secret.
Jollibee.
But
I think the halo halo idea is
halo.
That's a lot of work, but it's fun.
That's true. Anything Filipino food, because I don't know any Filipino foods in Berkeley.
not at all.
That is true.
Some kind of more kind of social and or also with fundraiser, but specifically for pill transfers.
Yeah.
Is that to be active and to be seen? Is that what it's saying? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like with fundraisers, it just makes certain organizations very visible, you know? Especially like, yeah, like I saw like a few like student ethnic organizations like doing fundraisers, and like I had never heard of them before. But like, you know, like hearing about them and just like, you know, like promoting themselves, like I wanted to support them.
What I would like to see more is sort of what you do every Monday, Morex Mondays. I just want to like have events where we literally just meet up just to meet up. I've met a majority, like I have to say, I've met a majority of the people in the pill community because of Morex Mondays, and it's like one of the things it's one of the things that helps me get through my Monday. Is like, you know, like those little breaks where I get to, you know, go over to the Memorial Glade and just meet like a bunch of new people.
Just chilling on the habit.
Yeah, just chill. Like no specific reason, just to like talk.
No.
Yeah, just like more mixers, like more social gatherings. Just
I would love to see
you
more
know,
of those.
and invite traditional students as well to let them hear our story.
To date you.
Oh.
Where are we getting this dating from?
He didn't say no. This is Hitch.
You would know.
Just kuya.
This is just Kuya, huh?
Just being a good kuya.
Bro, you would know if you were in the damn car ride over here.
Should we have like a transferring traditional blind date set?
Vision.
Oh, I have an idea for that.
Okay.
We should call it, I don't know if this has been taken already, we should call that a halo halo mixer, because let's get it, it's like halo halo.
Halo halo speed dating.
Halo halo singles.
Oh,
Okay. Retention event, baby. Kilig. Watch. I'll put in the work fam. Cool.
Yikes.
Any other thoughts?
That's a great idea.
For me, I like hearing that as opposed to last year, there is more involvement in the transfer community. But I want to see more because, like, I feel like hearing that the transfers in the pill community almost match the number of.
It's I think 86 were the transfers this year, and then. And that new transfers for this year of 2018, and I think the 140 something like that were freshmen. Yeah.
I just feel like even going into some of our events or like the spaces, it's overwhelmingly like 4-year students, and like the transfer community is so small, and I really just want to see like more involvement, more like I want to see our group expand.
Shout out Paolo.
He was last year's coordinator, transfer coordinator. Cool. So we'll wrap up so we can clean up too. We have one last question is, what is your advice to future transfers? Pill transfers.
Get in your community like as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Like I said before, if it weren't for my 4 roommates, I don't think I'd be attached to the pill community as I would be. And you only have 4 semesters. It's like this first semester already is going by so fast. I can already imagine the next 3 just flying by. And I feel like if you don't find your community as fast as you can, the imposter syndrome might be like amplified because you won't feel like you're a part of anything.
Yeah, definitely get out of your comfort zone, and just explore. Just explore Berkeley. Berkeley has a lot to offer, especially for transfers. There's a lot of opportunities here for us, and just basically using that tuition money to do as much as you can. I think is really important. So yeah, just go out of your comfort zone. Do as much as you can. If something interests you, research it, look into it, and just go out there and grab the world by its,
By the balls.
just go.
By the itlog.
By the horns.
If you're listening to this right now, this is a sign to do the thing that's whatever's going on in your mind right now, just do it. Live your life. It ain't that serious. Be present. Be brave.
Be brave.
Be brave.
I think for me, like, when you come from community college, going to Berkeley, you kind of have like this major that you're already going in with. And then for some people like me, now that I'm in, I realized like what my major was in community college is not really what the major is at Berkeley. And I realized from, talking to counselors and things like that, that even though you only have that 4 semesters or 5, some have 5, like you still have time to change your major, because obviously like a chance like Berkeley only comes once in a lifetime, or twice if you go to graduate school. But you can change your major, and you want to have a major that you want to study, that you love whatsoever, so you do have time even with those 4 semesters. So
Yeah, and to add on to that, come to Cal with like an open mind, because in community college, like for your major, but be open-minded about other things too. But I had thought that pure math was something I really wanted to do. After taking there's just this one class in mine that is starting to like make me lean towards applied math, even though like the whole ride in community college I thought I was going to be a pure math major.
Really?
It's still in the works. Don't get too excited. I'm still like waiting, so that's why I had told other people I was gonna wait till like my senior year to decide what major I wanted to do, or like to declare my major. So, props to LNS for having their transfers come in undeclared.
Right. Oh my goodness. Bless.
So,
LNS.
so blessed, yeah. So.
To touch on Carlos and Riley's point earlier, even though try to find your community as fast as possible, like also treat it with some patience. Definitely for me, as like you guys like met your roommates, you had friends, not forced, but you met people right away.
Right.
For me, like I live at home and I'm commuting. First day of class is like, oh man, like there's no one to hit up. I had no one to hit up. I had like a 2-hour break between my classes, so I didn't know. So you're kind of like, oh man, what am I doing here? I don't even want to be here right now. So it's kind of like that for me, like the first few weeks. And like you said, step out of your comfort zone, just try something new. Just be patient. You're accepted for a reason. Admission counselors saw a reason for you to be here. So, it's up to you to find that. But definitely be patient.
Word.
I think when we first all before you start Berkeley, you're very intimidated of starting at Berkeley, because there's this reputation that people will sabotage you, or they're so like competitive or whatever, and they're really mean, and that like the academic rigor is like insane, which it is. But honestly, I've never met anybody like such a really super nice community who is so willing to help out and reach out and like literally help you with anything. You could literally ask them for anything, and they're just so willing to go out there and help you out. It's not what you hear online in the meme pages, whatever. People are not mean. People are not going to sabotage you to have the best grade or whatever. Like, everyone I've met has been so lovely and so welcoming, and yeah. So
I tripped the other day, and a few people saw, like a few of them were like genuinely worried about me. Like, oh bless.
yeah.
another thing to add on that note of like comfort zones and like finding your community, like it is, just to reiterate, like it is okay if you don't like immediately. There's nothing wrong with you. Like I mean, honestly, like as a transfer, existing at UC Berkeley can be a little like very hard and intimidating. And in regards to the comfort zone aspect, I feel like it's okay to be like scared. I mean, like I think I learned a lot throughout my time at Cal by like trying to understand why exactly certain social situations make me afraid, or why certain things scare me away. And I think trying to unpack that part and try to like, instead of trying to like force yourself to like get out your comfort zone, helps much more. Like I'd rather understand than like try to make myself do something that I really don't want to do. Like like I'd honor that part of me. Like if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it. And I think that it's okay for you to like say no to a lot of things if you want.
Yes.
Step with caution.
Any perspective from a student parent? Any advice for future transfers? Maybe a future student parent?
Student parent transfers? I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. Because I think a lot of times as a parent, just in general, you feel like you have to do everything on your own because that's what people expect of you. Like, oh, you decided to have a kid, you do it yourself. But in actuality, it really does take a village to raise a child. Like, literally, it really does. The Student Parent Center has been like so valuable, and the parent and any student parent program that Cal has, that's the reason why I actually chose to go to Cal, is because I felt they supported me so much, because obviously they understand, but they not only care about me, but they care about my kids too. So, you know, they feed you. There's different like programs. You know, they give you tickets to go to the Campanile to take your kids. Just things like, just don't be afraid to ask for help, because I've seen a lot of student parents. Actually, in one of my classes on Thursday, I felt like I wanted to cry for somebody, because she was like, you could tell she was a mess and like stressed out and stuff like that, but she looked like she didn't want to ask for help. So she was, when you kind of have like so much stress on your shoulders and you feel like nobody's gonna understand you, that's not the truth. They might not have gone through the same thing you've gone through, but maybe they can give you some some insight or perspective that you hadn't thought about, because you're so focused on wanting to do it a certain way, but there's more than one way to do things. So I guess that would be my advice to future student parent transfers, is don't be afraid to ask for help. Not even necessarily even in like the student parent center or anything like that, but I feel like every time I've told another Cal student that, you know, I have kids, they're like so supportive. It's not like, oh, you have kids, like stay away from me kind of thing. But they're like super supportive, and then even, you know, like pass and like you guys look at my daughters here. So it's like how amazing is that, and how fortunate am I that, you know, she gets to share in this, and you guys like get to see kind of like what it feels like to have to like, or what it looks like to have to deal with a kid, even though I'm short 3 of them, but she's enough.
No. Thank you. Any last thoughts? Oh. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I guess just when you see that confetti, know that.
On the acceptance.
Oh. Confetti. What are you doing? Where are you?
Graduation.
That too. No, but when you see that confetti, know that the admissions, like, they didn't make a mistake. They reviewed the application, not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, they reviewed it multiple times. It was passed down through like multiple people. Like, you're like each and every one of us. Like, we're like hella valuable to, you know, to Cal, and we bring so much to the table. And yeah, just know that we're here for a reason, and that we got here just because of the hard work and that we put in. And maybe a second is like, just be yourself. Like, be respectful. Just, you know, be nice to people. Like, the energy you get is the energy that you know you give off to other people. And that's like the ultimate rule in life. Just like treat the way, the golden rule. You know, treat others how you want to be treated. And you know, there's so much negativity in this world already, and why be that, like, you know, Debbie Downer or that negative person, and just, you know, spread positivity around. No matter who you meet, freshman, transfer, grad student, like, I don't care. Like, respect others, because you know, we're all here trying to get that degree. We're all here struggling. We're all here dealing with other stuff, and the last thing we want is just like negative vibes and negative energy. And so what I kind of want to say is just like, just be you, be a kind person, and just, you know, work hard, and everything will be just fine. You'll get everything out fine.
And last word to Mr. Comrade.
I guess for me, I think like what's helped me the most and what I would give as advice is to like utilize all of your resources, take advantage of opportunities that present themselves to you, because I feel like I always get emails even from my advisor about like different internship opportunities, job opportunities, events that are going on, whether it be like signing up for CalFresh, that really helped me out. I know Gina and I are so grateful for that. The CE3 events, re-entry student has like a lot of assistance at the student parent, transfer center, like everything. I feel like there's so many available resources that are just like out there for us, and we should take advantage of that.
So cool. Thanks y'all for sharing. Y'all have been part of the pivotal first Transfer Talks group session, and watch next year, a few years from now, you'll look back and you'll come back to Cal like, damn, I wish I was a transfer again. And this time, and you'll see hella like transfer / 4-year traditional halo relationships.
You still on that?
We have to make it happen.
I know at least one of us has to end up in a hello relationship.
Nose goes
Alright, put all your noses up.
Alright, I'll take it then.
Okay, I will close it out with our Isa. Awesome, thanks y'all. So